Hello, everyone. Welcome to this latest episode of Lowdown on Low Code. This episode features just us from analysis.tech. Dave Marcus, my colleague, is with us here today to discuss briefly some new research that he has put out about channel partner strategies in the AI era. Dave, you have such broad and long experience with partner channel strategies. We're really excited to get your pull the brilliance out of your brain and get it down on paper to help people. So let's talk a little bit, Dave, about why this is so important. What sort of mistakes do vendors make when they design and execute their channel partner strategies?
So I think the first thing that I'll just say is having done this many times before, and I love the fact that for the first time I'm kind of putting this down on paper. I've spent so much time on sort of advisory engagements with various vendors on this topic over the years, and sort of actually getting it down in some formalized paper is actually a good thing. So I encourage people to actually read that, go through it, give us some feedback, and so on. But the reality is that there were a few reasons we've done this, the paper specifically. Number one, because the channel business is a business that is an accelerator for almost any vendor, no matter who you are. But number two, in an AI age where there literally are more vendors coming to the market with offerings of various types than ever before, the need for those particular vendors to actually understand the kind of things that a channel strategy is going to bring them versus what it might not bring them. Also, understand how they need to think about applying a channel strategy in the most appropriate way so that they don't make mistakes is a pretty darn important thing in today's world. You don't have the time to be able to go through something that says, look, we built this thing and then a year later we discovered it just didn't work for us. No one has the time for that. And so, in some ways, this is a very timiest thing. I think just to kind of come to the specifics of your question, and the paper covers a range of fundamentals. It covers some sort of key topics for people to think about. It covers things like investment in people, resources, prioritization. It covers expectation management, a range of other topics. But at the end of the day, the things that I would say people often make mistakes about is the first one in no particular order is there is often something that says, just because we have something that we think is valuable to the channel, it will be. The good thing in today's world is that the channel, and I'm going to use this in its broadest context, the channel have the ability of being able to have so much choice that 10, 15 years ago they didn't. That now, you need to be top of mind and top of mind in a way that aligns 100% with their business models, not necessarily yours. And that's the one thing that I often see people making really big mistakes with. They go in, we think we've got the greatest thing since sliced bread, and surely people are just going to buy into this. And then they don't. The second thing that I would say is a very common scenario is understanding what you're actually trying to achieve here. Yes, on the one hand, the channel is a significant accelerator, but it also is such that you need to put a pretty significant amount of commitment in as a vendor in order to make that accelerator viable, work effectively, and set the expectations with the channel about what you are trying to achieve. And this comes down to everything from selecting the right channel. If your goal is to drive accelerated business in large enterprises, then focusing on a channel that doesn't spend their time talking to large enterprises is probably not the right thing to do, even if that channel loves you. And so there's that. There is also enabling the channel. None of these technologies just happen. And none of these technologies just get successfully deployed. It doesn't matter what they are. There is a level of enablement that needs to happen. And the enablement also, again, comes back to this whole area of expectations. If you expect your channel to sell on your behalf, then you need to make sure that they can sell as good as your best sellers do. Because if they can't, then how would you ever expect them to do anything? If you expect them to deliver solutions in a way that gives success to these particular customers, then arm them to be able to do that in the most successful way. And it isn't just about understanding the technology. It's about understanding the methodologies behind how these technologies are appropriately deployed. It's understanding many different aspects that you need to arm people to do effectively. And then the third one that I'll just call out, there are a bunch, but the third one I'll just call out often comes down to sort of compensation. People, there was a time 20 years ago when channel partners just loved this idea of, I'm going to be the front to vendor X, Y, and Z. And because I'm the front to vendor X, Y, and Z, I'm just going to do it because it's a vehicle for me to generate revenue, typically services revenue and some set of resell revenue. Today, everyone does that. And so you need to have an edge in being able to convince people that your proposition for that channel partner is significantly better from a business perspective than the next vendor's proposition. And if you don't, then you're not going to make that happen. So those are typical examples of where this can often break down.
It's really interesting, Dave, that as you highlight, the channel partner companies, the companies that do this work, have so many choices. And they actually, unlike 20 years ago, many of them are quite sophisticated organizations,
Correct.
have their own product sets and their own service lines and so forth. At any rate, Dave, thanks for highlighting some of the key mistakes people make. Folks, as Dave mentioned, there's a lot more in the report about fundamentals, et cetera, and a lot of great advice about how to structure an effective channel partner program in the AI era. So go to analysis.tech/research. The price of the report is give us your email address. That's it. Other than that, you get the benefit of Dave's decades of experience managing channel programs and really keeping up to date in the AI era. So again, analysis.tech/research. Have at the report. Let us know what you think. Let us know how it helps or what other things you'd like us to focus on in this arena. Dave, thanks so much. And for folks that have dialed in, thanks for attending. Hope we helped, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we look forward to your feedback. So, please let us have it. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. And if you've experienced things in this channel space that we haven't covered and that you think we should cover, then tell us. We'd love to hear more.
Thank you.